Hey 49er fans, this video is brought to you guys by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers for 20% off your order plus free shipping. Again, manscaped.com/49ers. Okay, it's a Monday. We always do the 49ers news and rumors. A couple of new injuries to get into, as well as some other fun news as well. Let's start with the injury news and J.J. Nelson. What do you know? Another 49er wide receiver has had an injury, and this one is going to cost Nelson a spot on the team. He has a knee injury. No specifications on exactly what the knee injury is, but it is a knee injury where he would expect to be out a month. And so the 49ers are expected to have an injury settlement, which will essentially pay J.J. Nelson severance, if you will, to go ahead and, lose his roster spot and be cut, but they're still paying him because he was, of course, injured. It's a weird way that happens in the National Football League. But what do we know, right? Another 49er wide receiver is injured, hence why the 49ers have been signing everybody off of the street. And I've been getting some phone calls probably saying that, hey, Thomas, they might sign you next. Like, I'm ready to go at wide receiver if they need me to go. And obviously, we'll wait and see if they do. Hopefully, they don't. Here was Kyle Shanahan at a local San Francisco Bay Area radio show talking about the wide receivers, saying, quote, "We've done a good job bringing in some guys who can play, so it's helped us with all the guys who are out right now. But anytime you get into training camp, it started with losing Deebo and Richie James, two guys who did a lot for us last year, who we expected to make the team this year. Then you lose Jalen Hurd, who had very big plans for this year. So three of the guys who had a very good chance of making our team." Shanahan would later go on and say, quote, "So you've got all these guys who are doing all these reps for the number of guys that are missing, so you've got to keep bringing in guys so the guys don't fully get hurt. We've had to take it easy on a couple of those guys like Tavon and stuff because they've had to pick up the bulk of the reps with all of those guys out." So all he's saying there is that, hey, calm down on the wide receiver position because we're trying to get people up to speed, but it's difficult when every single week a different wide receiver is out for an extended period of time. You remember, Aiyuk is out right now with a hamstring. Obviously, Deebo and Richie, they are just throwing free agents in there, and they not only have to learn the playbook, learn the routes, and obviously learn how to work well with Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's a bad situation right now. It's a nightmare situation for the 49ers at wide receiver with another injury to J.J. Nelson, who was looking pretty good, by the way. People were excited about what they had seen from Nelson, but we get to a point where, hey, the wide receiver core is struggling. The wide receiver core is not going to be good week one, but hopefully reinforcements in the terms of Deebo and Richie James Jr. and even Aiyuk are on the way and can be ready to go for, if not the start of the NFL season, at least a couple of games into the NFL season. But there's your injury update. It's not looking good. Hopefully they just stay healthy for the next 2 weeks here so we can just get to the start of the regular season. Give me your one-word reaction to the pinned comment down below. Your one-word reaction to the 49ers wide receiver core. Describe the 49ers current wide receiver situation in one word down below in the pinned comment. I'm going to read all of them. It's going to be kind of fun. And of course, all this injury news is why you got to be subscribed to the 49ers Report because, as I said at the beginning of training camp, if there is injury news, we'll have it here. And little did I know that there'd be a ton of injury news. So that's all we've been covering, it feels like, on the 49ers Report. But that's our job, to give you guys the latest news and stuff. So go ahead and click the red subscribe button down below. That way you're notified whenever we drop the latest videos, which hopefully will not include injuries anytime sooner. But you never know, it might still happen because injuries are happening right now in San Francisco. Let's go to some good news here. How about Jordan Reed? So Jordan Reed obviously was a surprise signing. I said that I didn't think that they would sign him, and then they signed him, and then they re-signed Kittle, and it's like, okay, where will Jordan Reed fit in the offense? Well, he practiced for the first time last week, full pads with the offense. He looked really good. People are very excited about what they've seen from Jordan Reed. Kyle Shanahan was very impressed with what he saw, and he also did a lot of work with the ones because Kittle has been out with a hamstring injury, which is not really a big deal, but he's kind of sat the past couple of days to go ahead and rehab that. So it's looking like the Jordan Reed signing, which I said, was kind of a low-risk, high-reward sort of thing, has quietly been excellent. Like, it was a great move overall, and the 49ers are better now that they have Jordan Reed. Here was Kyle Shanahan when asked about what Reed looked like the past couple of days. Quote, "He did as many reps as we've done today, so it was good to get a lot of it on film. It was good to get Jordan out there more than he has been out there. I thought it was probably his most reps, at least back-to-back reps. I thought he made some good plays. Some of the obvious ones you guys saw, and missed a couple also. And a couple of good catches across the middle. But it's an important role to go ahead and have as he backs up the best tight end in the National Football League in George Kittle and provides a fantastic red zone weapon for Jimmy Garoppolo as, of course, they get inside the red zone, inside that 20, and close to hopefully scoring a lot of points. And Garoppolo's looked very good so far this training camp in the red zone. The interesting thing that came out on Jordan Reed when he was talked to the media for the first time as a Niner a couple of days ago was that the guy almost retired. Like Jordan Reed, who has had a history of concussions, a history of injuries, had a lot of losing seasons in Washington, almost retired last year, but it was the 49ers in the Super Bowl that spurred him to go ahead and make a comeback and try and come back to the 2020 season. Here's what he said on retirement, quote, "I definitely thought about hanging it up after last season. It was when I saw the Super Bowl that really kind of ignited me. I want to play in big games again. God blessed me to be here and part of this great team. He gave me the opportunity to be in this situation." Well, if you want to play in big games, Jordan, you came to the right place, as this team is going to have a ton of big games, not only in the regular season, but hopefully in the postseason as well. But it's a guy, again, who comes in a completely low risk because they gave him basically no money. I mean, they paid him, obviously, but it was a very tiny little veteran contract, the veteran minimum for a tight end. And he can come in and not only get a lot of reps, but be, part of the two tight end sets that they want to run with George Kittle on one side and Jordan Reed on the other. I don't know how you defend two great tight ends. The Patriots, of course, showed us with Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski back in the day that they can be fantastic when there's two tight ends on the field. In Philadelphia, with Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz, is great as well. And so hopefully this is just a additional boost to the 49er offense and maybe an additional pass catcher with all the wide receiver injuries that are happening right now. How many touchdowns do you guys see for Reed in 2020? What do you think? I'm thinking more than 3. I'm thinking 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. It could be a good year. If he stays healthy, this could be his best year as a pro, and he had a couple of really good ones when he was down there with the Washington football team. Speaking of touchdowns, we got a big sale for you guys right now happening at Manscaped, 20% off and free shipping whenever you go to manscaped.com. The link is down below in the description box. And if you go to manscaped.com/49ers, you will go ahead and, like I said, get 20% off and free shipping on the Shears 2.0, which is one of their brand new products, which of course is a luxury men's nail kit that you can take with you on the go and keep your hands and feet looking nice and clean, which mine, I just used them yesterday. It looks pretty good right here. So again, Manscaped.com/49ers. Get 20% off plus free shipping. Just go down into the link below in the description box. Okay, final little bit of information here, and this is just fascinating. I wanted to throw this in to the very end of my news video. The losses the 49ers will have week to week in terms of no fans being in the stands are so great that I think it's going to spur a lot of NFL teams to go ahead and revert the idea of no fans in the stands for the season and let some fans come in at some point during the NFL year just due to the overall money loss. So we know the 49ers are not going to have fans in the stands for the foreseeable future. The majority of NFL teams will not have fans in their stands. But someone did a breakdown. Ellen Blackow of Money.com, that's kind of a mouthful there, but did a full breakdown on how much the 49ers will lose per game without fans in the stands, and it exceeds $1 million per game. $1 million per game. It's crazy how much money that they're actually going to lose. Here's the quote that I found from Ellen Blacko of Money.com. Quote, "Every game with no attendance, the 49ers will lose over $1 million in concessions. Zero attendance means losses of $1,027,500 per game. So $2,055,000 for the 49ers' first 2 home games and $8.2 million over the entire season. And they also figured in that all 32 NFL teams combined are going to lose $25 million a week by not having fans in the stands. With this being said, I think this is going to go ahead and spur the 49ers and other NFL teams to go ahead and allow fans in the stands earlier than a lot of people expected. Some people say after week 8, some people say after week 4. I think people are going to understand the risks that there are, but also the idea of a limited capacity with social distancing and masks can work very, very well, not only to let fans watch the game, but stay safe and also make the team money because, wink, wink, that's what really matters in the National Football League, despite what people want to tell you. There's a really good quote from Dr. George Rutherford talking about the 49ers having fans in the stands. He's a doctor who covers these sort of pandemics things, and he said, quote, "I don't think it hurts anything to keep October open. They can still fill up the stadium, of course, but the limited 20% capacity or so plan should still be on the table. I think if guidelines are followed, it's fine, but teams have to figure out how to deal with concessions and concourse interactions." So hopefully by October, which again would be week 4 in the National Football League, kind of space it all out and be the 4th game, which would be the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. That could be a real chance for a couple of fans, not full, but 20% capacity, 20,000 people spread out could make a lot of sense. Right now, only 3 teams will allow fans during the first week of the NFL season. The Chiefs, Cowboys, and Dolphins will all have limited capacity. There are 6 other teams that want to but haven't had plans approved by local authorities. That's the Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Colts, Jags, and Bucks. Again, we know San Francisco will not have fans in the stands for at least week 1 against the Cardinals, but hopefully with the loss of money and the backing of certain doctors saying socially distance with masks and limited capacity as possible, you, the fans, and other fans can go ahead and be at Levi Stadium sooner rather than later, which I think is good news for everybody involved. There you go, the ultimate out for today here on our 49ers news and rumor video. Wanted to get you guys the latest injury news as we always do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Plenty more upcoming here in the days and weeks to come. All time we have for today in the 49ers Report. I'm Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.